Welcome to this podcast about knitting and yarn and the fiber arts. My name is Doc, and I'm coming to you from Albuquerque in the beautiful desert of New Mexico. And I want to start. How do I start even? Goodness, I filmed yesterday in German, and it was so nice and pleasant and warm. And now we've had a change in temperature and it's getting cold, it's gloomy. I had to change my position a little bit to catch the light, but it's all good. I mean, cold weather means we can wear our woolen stuff. And in fact, I wanted to show off right at the beginning the sweater that I'm wearing, which is the one that I showed you in the last episodes, which is the Sunshine Coast. Gosh, why can I never get this name right? The Sunshine Coast, I think, by Heidi Kermeyer. And I wanted to make this in purple, and so I dyed up one of my yarns, the Cozy Decay, to kind of whatever I liked. Just mixed up some colors until I got what I loved, and it is done. What I call done still means I need to weave in the ends, and I do need to block this baby because I'm still having issues with the rolling edges. I've got a lot of nice suggestions after the last episode, and one of them was the one that actually I ended up trying out on the sleeves, and where later I ripped back on the bottom of the sweater and I did the same thing. Let me show you. So this is one round of purl, and then I think I did 4 rounds of knitting. Here, let me just see. No, on the 4th I bound off, and I did one more row on the bottom of the sweater. Sorry, I'm wearing my oldest jeans here. Not that you can see much. At least you cannot see the hole in the knee. Yeah, it's a great sweater. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to behave after a wash and a block, which means essentially that I'm just going to lay it out. I'm going to wash it and then I'm going to lay it out, and I'll see how it is afterwards. I'm a little bit nervous. I do confess, I'm a little bit nervous, but I won't hesitate to rip back a second time and to reknit the bottom edge of the sweater, and if I need to, I'm just gonna do some kind of ribbing, a 1x1 or so. Yeah, this is, like I said, my Cozy Yarn DK, and I used, gosh, yet again, I don't know the American size. I used 4mm needles, and this was really a very fun knit. I talked about this before, how I really like these design elements of that wide band in the raglan area, and the rolling edge up here I do not mind at all. And you have a back shaping where the back is a little bit higher, so it's just the neckline is absolutely perfect for my taste. Yes, that's my new sweater, and now I have a good reason to finish it. What else? I can already tell I forgot one of my 2 other main projects outside in the studio and in the dye studio, because I call this my studio also. And but so let me start with the sweater. Oh, you guys, I am still so in love with my Rattlesnake by Jamie Hoffman. I showed this off already before, and I'm just really slow, so whatever, I don't care. But this is top down, and I started with the saguaros right here, and yeah, what can I say? I love it. Love the pink, love the yellow, love the green, love that rusty color, and the pink is one of mine. The green is a yarn which I think could be the same base as my sugar loaf from the measurements of the skein. I would think so, but I got this many, many years ago when we still lived on the East Coast. And that rusty color is, oops, I already got my longer needle here. Sorry, I should put it on there so you could see the sweater better, but oh well. So this is another local Albuquerque dyer, and her label is Zombie Yarns, and this is a box of broken crayons colorway. I think she had a booth in Taos 2 years ago, last year, 2 years ago, and that's where I found this. Yeah, I didn't know her, so that was really very nice to meet her. So that's my rattlesnake sweater, and in comparison to this one, I went one needle size up. This is a 4.5 millimeter needle, so it's only growing very slowly because of the color work, but that's okay. I mean, I don't mind. It's not that I'm like, oh my God, I hope this is over soon, which I thought I would be like, but no, it's really fine. And look at this. I love there's texture in the saguaros, and also look at the cool, this symbolizes the rattles of the rattlesnakes. I just love this. Great. I have not decided on my yarn for the body yet. I had an idea, but I think I may not use that yarn after all, because I would have had to hold it with another yarn, and I don't know that I want to do that. I'm not too decided yet, so I'll see. I'll keep you posted. I have time to make my decision. Also, it's going to be probably nice to see how the yoke looks like when I decide on how to continue. Yeah. Wonderful. And now let me do a short, very brief break to get the other project that I forgot. So you see, I was being a really good girl and fairly monogamous with my two big projects. My sweater, well, I have 3 sweaters, you know that, but I was working on 2 of them. And I really wanted to get this done. And the sleeves, they were no big deal. But then, you know how it is, sometimes you just need that little bitty thrill of casting on something new. And so that's what I did, because I was outside looking at my stash, looking for something, and it may have been that I was looking for a green when I found this, and that's when I found a skein of sock yarn where I thought, oh, this would be so perfect to knit up in the fall now at this time of the year. And then a few days later, I started cleaning out and reorganizing my drawers with my project bags, and I sorted them by size, small, medium, large, and I came upon this guy, which was a gift from a friend, from my friend Jessie a few years ago. And I thought, what a perfect bag to use with this yarn. And that's when I went, boom, get my needles, cast it on. And my husband loves my socks, since he discovered them 2 years ago. No, we're not only married for 2 years. We've been married for many, many more years. So it's kind of funny that it took him so long, because he could have had all these socks if I had known that he was going to wear them. But whatever. This is what I'm working on. Aren't they cute? I mean, cute is maybe the wrong word, but they're so beautiful and such fall colors with that little bit of orange in there and the gold and the green. I just, yeah. In fact, when you look at the lining, they match, the colors totally match the lining. And here, yet again, my little elastic thingy that will hold my needles when I'm done. They're 2.5 millimeters, so I cut a piece and I just zigzag at the edge, and then with a Sharpie I write the size of the needle on there, and then they're up there in a cup, a sheep-shaped cup, ceramic thingy, yeah. And the yarn that I'm using is by a German company that's called Piratenwolle. And I'm pretty sure that some of you may already know it and have heard of her. She's really, I mean, this is it's not a soft sock yarn. It's fairly, it's not scratchy, but it's just not soft. But the price for this, you can't beat that. But you know what? Actually, I remember she does not do colorway, so you just got to see what you get. I feel like she's on Etsy. See, it has a number. Yep. So I'll see how long these are going to take me. 2 weeks ago, I said, I'm currently not in the mood for socks, but then this can change so quickly, and that's okay. I have another pair of socks planned, and they are with one of my yarns and a Chama is an 8-ply cabled yarn which does not have any nylon, but it's a very soft and very pleasant to wear, and my son loves it. I can't recall that I ever made socks for our daughter, but I was thinking that these would make wonderful Christmas socks for her. This is last year's candy canes and icicles in a sport weight. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, this will probably hop on the needles very soon just for kicks, or that thrill of casting on. I have something else that I'm working on, which is Christmas related, so at a later point in time I will show that either in a mini extra video or in photos, but I can't show it right now, sorry. So what next? I have to make a confession, and that is, in case you haven't noticed, that I can be quite forgetful. And so I was actually very grateful when just recently a German friend reminded me of something that I had forgotten about. Actually, the story was that she said, hey, we should do a finish your blanket knit along in December, or maybe not necessarily finish your blanket, but let's do an Advent knit along for the song blanket. And if you remember, I wrote that down as a free pattern last year. It's like the sock memory blanket, same concept, but with bigger needles and holding two yarns together. So a fun and fairly fast growing warmer blanket. But of course, as it goes with blankets, you started, you're very enthusiastic, and then it's, well, you lose interest in, and then you have a half finished blanket, which is fine because usually we come back to them. And so this is what I'm talking about. And you may remember that from last year. I'm actually, it's looking good already. I hope you can see. So I named it Song Song Blanket because I thought the colors sing with one another, and I'm using two yarns held together, like I said, and one of them is a hand dyed and the other one is a commercial sock yarn. And at some point I started knitting it on this, but I'm not alone with the not working on it anymore. And so the friend in Germany, Monica, she said, hey, let's do this in Advent. Let's knit every day one square from the 1st to the 24th. And I said, oh, that's great. That's totally doable. Yes. And now she's going to turn it into a knit along for blankets but I don't know, that's going to be in German. So I feel like I can't really do that. But here's the crazy thing. What she reminded me of was that I had done a Song Song blanket knit along last year, and it kind of never ended. It never came to any conclusion or anything. So, and that's what she reminded me of. Hey, didn't you say you were going to do a little giveaway and blah, blah, blah. So I was really mortified. In fact, I have only looked at my little notebook with the show notes, and I saw Song Song Blanket knit along until I wrote down until maybe end of August, but it doesn't matter because right now we're already more than a year later. So I decided, hey, we're just gonna forget about what I said last year, or kind of not, because we will say, if you finished a Song Song blanket within the past year, I don't care when, it doesn't have to be last year, or if maybe you have only one square missing, do it now. But we say this knit along is still going, and it will go until I film the next episode, and that's when I will close the thread on Ravelry. I'm not going to do this on YouTube or on any other platform. No, because I can't, the management is then too complicated for me. So if you wouldn't mind, if you have finished the blanket, or you will finish in the next 2 weeks, go and join the Ziawul's group on Ravelry. There is a thread still from last year for the Song Song blanket. So go there, post a picture of your finished blanket, and I will do a giveaway among the people who finished their blanket. And I'm going to assemble a mini skein set, and that's going to be the giveaway prize. Be surprised. I haven't done that yet, but by then I'm going to be done. And I promise I'm not going to forget again. So that's the Song Song blanket knit along. And I'm looking around to see if there's anything else. But no, knit-wise, there was really not a lot going on. But I do have a lot of new yarns that I've dyed, and that's probably why there is not a lot of knitting. I have actually been super busy in the dye studio, which is always fun because when you haven't been dyeing, because like in my case we were on the trip, so I took a break from it, but then I knew I wanted to dye, but it took me a while to get back into it. But then usually what happens, I start dying, and then I just keep going because I have more and more ideas. I come up with new colorways, and that's just really fun. I really enjoy that. So I've had a really fun and productive week in the dye studio, and I'm going to do a quick run through the new colors. But the main thing is that I have brought Sugarloaf back, which is really, I've said it so many times, it's one of my personal favorites, and it's a yarn that I've always wanted to carry when I have my own yarns, and I get it from upstate New York, so it's just always been super important and close to my heart. And there's a few of my favorite colorways that I brought back. And let me just grab the bundle. You probably saw it already behind me. There's a basket with the mini skeins that ship with all the Christmas yarns, and or all of my yarns, I should say. I usually try to include a small sample of yarn when for whoever places an order. Let me grab the yarn. I managed to get all the Sugarloaf into the shop before the light got really bad today, because that makes no sense to take pictures when the lighting is bad. I have my ironing board here, which comes in quite handy. And there they go already. So I have a few of that last year's colorway of the Christmas yarn in the shop, which is Candy Canes and Icicles. I may have one that's also on a sport weight yarn. I don't know if I brought it here. And then, I mentioned that before. These two are a discontinued yarn, and that's why they're on sale. It's a 50-50 blend of alpaca and wool. It's not merino, but it's also not, it's not scratchy. It's somewhere in between. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just a lovely yarn that I liked more than everybody else, and that's why it's discontinued. Last two skeins. And now we're getting to the Sugarloaf. This is Blue Moon. Oh, I love this guy. This is called Next Lifetime. And then I have these two beauties, which are Romeo and Juliet. I think there's only one more of this here. So I need to tell you that I've dyed up a lot of yarns that would go, that could be combined. Also the one that I just showed you. Oh yeah, here it is again. Like this. Or like this. But I don't want to, I don't feel comfortable assembling sets, because if you ask me what can I combine, I'd love to help you, but I'm not going to put it together in advance. I want you to be able to pick. Yeah, I just like that better. I always prefer to assemble my own two color combinations, or maybe you have something that goes with it at home and you don't want to buy two skeins. So you always have the option of getting just one. So this was Romeo, and this was another Juliet, and the last one of this batch. They're all the others are gone. You probably remember this from last year. This is the Desert Flower, which is really was for me the colorway of last year, my personal favorite of them all, because it's so captures the essence of the desert. And just a quick reminder for those of you who are new to the podcast, I've written up a pattern for a kind of like a lacy shrug that you can throw on, that takes one skein of the sugar loaf and is perfect. And it's kind of like a little bit A-line, lacy, like I said, and it just ends here at the elbow and has a little bit of a drapey neckline because you add beads at the edge, so it kind of hangs, gets a little more drape. And the sugar loaf, yeah, perfect for it, because I think you need about 500 yards for it. I have these two neon pink skeins, which are one of a kinds. This is sold, sorry for the teaser. Then I tried a new technique where not every skein is turning out like the other, so it's, you don't really know 100% what you're going to get, and that's why I call all of these Let It Go Lucky. Let It Go Lucky. This one is called then Let It Go Lucky Pink. And this one is a Let It Go Lucky Mermaid. Let me look if I have one more. Oh, no. All the others are, I think, sock yarns. And this one, oh no, sorry. Oh, I haven't dyed this in a long, long time. This is Aurora Borealis. Oh, love it. Let's gain this one up. This was Let It Go Lucky Mermaid. No, it was Blue Moon. And this is all the sugar loaf, and these are the last. You know what? I don't think I have the sport version in the shop. I have the Corriedale de Toss sock yarn of last year's, and this is also last year's The Beekeeper's Christmas. All of these guys in the shop now. And the next ones, I have to tell you, are not yet in the shop. I have yet to take the pictures. This is Rebel on Taos. Corriedale, Superwash Corriedale nylon blend. And these are Romeo and Juliet on Sandia, which is my merino nylon, superwash merino nylon sock yarn. I call it sock yarn. There's a lot of people out there who love this yarn for any project, because what it does, it gives you a really beautiful stitch definition. I mean, not, you don't want to do a pattern with a variegated yarn, but if it's a more solid color, this would really be a wonderful yarn to use. And now this is it. We've come to the end. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me, spending time with me again. And I am planning to see you again with another knitting episode in about 2 weeks. And the next paper talk, I'm planning to record that sometime during the next week. more towards the end of the week. So I hope you're all doing great, and until I see you again, I wish you happy knitting. Bye.